Hey folks, it's a Wizard of Wizard of Mo Games, and we are back at the Wizard's Table. I got a new camera. I hadn't done any solo videos in a while, hadn't been on the Blue Table in a while, but I got a new camera, got it hooked up. I'm just testing it out. I'm not actually going to play anything, but I did want to open up Explorers of Navoria. So I've got the base game, and I've got an expansion to it, and then I also got this really cool, let's go ahead and put it out there, it's probably not going to fit, game mat for it. Yeah, look at that. It's going to run all the way off out of my zone there, but take a look at that. What you're missing up across the top here just above, well, let's move it back. There we go. So the scoring track goes all the way around this, and basically this replaces the fold-out board in the box itself, and we've got our scoring track across the top. It's going to run off the edge here, so bear with me. Let's get this thing flattened out. It has a place to lay all the cards out. Normally you would just put them beside the board, and then it also has a place for the expansion, to where you can play the expansion and not have to pull out a separate board for it altogether. It's like all inclusive on one mat. I do need to let this thing lay out a bit because it's wrinkled. For space sake, they actually quad folded it instead of rolling it up and put it all in the same box. So this is Explorers of Navoria. 2 to 4 players. Looks like Dranda Games. And this is a little adventure game. We have some, you're going to draft cards, and you're going to, well, let's just read it. In the magical land of Navoria, new and strange continents have emerged from the seas, and that would be these islands here. Looks like the glacial and the desert and the forest area. The Council of Navoria has decreed that the new continents must be explored, and you and a handful of other intrepid adventurers have answered the call. The stage is set for the adventure of a lifetime in Explorers of Navoria. Now, there are a few playthroughs out for this, I believe for prototype stuff, but I did receive this some time ago, and because I get so many games, I sort of set it aside for Christmas. And it is now after Christmas, and I'm going to go ahead and just open this up and take a look. Mainly because I want to make sure all the contents are correct. And then secondly, to make sure I have the correct sleeve sizes for the cards, because I am a sleever. All right, so we got that. Oh, and to test this camera, of course. And the lighting, how's the lighting? Let me know in the comments. Looks pretty good. The room I'm in seems pretty dark, but I can't really shine anything directly on the table because you get glare, especially on my sleeved cards. But for the most part, it tends to be bright on the video, so I'm using a lot of reflective light and filtered light, and we'll see how it looks overall. Let's put this guy up there. That's the expansion. And this is the base game. Let's take a look. Now see, this says 2 to 4, but the expansion, the Forgotten Lands, changes it 1 to 5. So not only have they added an additional 5th player to it, they've also incorporated a solo mode. And that was one of the reasons why I got it, because I think this will be fun with 4 or 5 of us over at an Emperor's studio. But I'll also be able to give it a solo play over here. So that's pretty good. Let's see. We've got a rule book. Looks pretty colorful. It shows See, you can see the main board only goes to the end of this purple. So they have added this part here in the bottom for the expansion. And what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's also a 6th row along the bottom here. So I think I've blocked a lot of light with this. So we'll just page through this. It looks fairly simple to set up, intuitive. Again, I've seen some prototype videos on it, so I have a general idea of how it plays. Of course, as with any game, knowing how to play it and knowing how to win at it is a different thing. So coming up with the right strategies and stuff like that. I don't think this one is overly thinky, so should be good. And it's got a big round summary there on the back. All right, looks like we have a bag. This is like a denim type bag, terry cloth, denim, something like that. Here we have player boards, and I don't know if you can see that. It is ever so slightly recessed there, almost like they used full thickness cardboard and then just a super thin layer over the top of it, just to give you a little bit of a ridge where the where you will set your little blocks, just to keep them from sliding off. But that's what each player's board looks like. All right, there's 4 of these. I assume there's a 5th one in there. I'm going to set that over here. Looks like we've got some punch boards. Everybody loves punch boards. Now, I am not going to punch these out because, as you can see, I got the deluxe version. So I have all of the wooden, blocky wooden, looks like they're printed. Yeah, all the little wooden printed block items here instead of these punches. So in that case, I normally take those and put them in the bottom of the box, and should I ever, lose every single piece, I could pull them out. And I think this has some stuff to do with in-game scoring. Those I will have to punch, but I'm not going to punch those right now. I'm going to put it in. Now the playmat is just you can see that the board itself is smaller. You only have a stack of each cards here, and then you put all the rest to the side of the board. All they did was incorporate everything into one piece. And then it looks like we have a deck of cards, and yes, these are standard. Looks like standard sleeves, so I'm not going to have any trouble with that. I've probably got 2,000 of them over there, so that was the big deal with that. But these, I'm really liking these. These are super chunky. They're not like just a thin old piece of wood. I mean, they're pretty thick. I don't know if you can see how thick that is, but that's a big chunk of wood right there. So those are going to lay out good on this mat. I'm going to lay it out, maybe put some heavy boxes on it just to see if I can sort of press it out. I know it'll lay down by itself over time, but I figure now that I'm unboxing this, I'm probably going to be wanting to dig into solo mode and get a video going. So let's see. I want to toss this. Now, one thing that is, yeah, they're Ziploc bags. I'm going to have to get with an Emperor and see if we can create or find a 3D printed insert for this to organize all this stuff, because, yes, we sleeve and yes, we use inserts, but, we're avid gamers. That's what we do. We want our stuff to last, but how many times are you going to play your game? You don't know, but you still want it organized. And if you print them yourself, you can get them pretty cheap. All right, so that's that. Now here's another question. Will this fit into that? Let's take a look and see. It's got some weight to it. I know we'll have everything necessary for a 5th player and probably more cards. And there's the chunky pieces for the 5th player, and looks like maybe even solo stuff. So that's pretty cool. I'm digging that. See me tossing all these bags aside because I know they're going to get organized. I think if this has an organizer in it, we're not going to have any trouble getting the rest of this stuff in that box. Here's the rest of the cards, new cards, and they are standard size for me to sleeve. I say standard, it's American poker size, 63.5 by 88 millimeters, 2.5 by 3.5 inches, American. All right, here is the expansion and rule book setup. It shows you change a couple of items on the map. You got a few more another deck of cards, some little, looks like little scroll tokens, and then here's the new rules, different, I guess, exploration tiles, so that's another thing for scoring. And then contract tokens, that's what those little scrolls are. And then you've got goal cards, so I guess you can start the game with a goal of gaining a certain number of things and get bonuses for it. And here's solo. It starts on page 7, and that's it. It looks like 5 steps for solo. I would think that they have an automa deck that you play against, but wow. And then this shows, okay, each chapter shows you additionally how to set it up, and by the time you get all the chapters done, you'll know how to do it. That's cool. So it looks like 5 little chapters. So it's a little solo campaign is what it looks like. And it looks like you're trying to score points to get 1 star, 2 star, or 3 stars. So that makes it replayable as well, because you could set up one of these chapters and crank through it. And if you didn't get 3 stars, it's like in a video game, you know. You want to get all the platinum trophies. That's cool. And then it looks like a couple of other punch outs here, I believe. See, this piece right here goes over on the main board. It'll go over the top of it, but because I have this mat, it's already been incorporated into it. And let's see, what is this? This on the main board would fill in right here. You can see it's duplicated there. So yes, all of that stuff, none of that needs to be punched. There's another player board, and there are a few more resources, just because you're adding the 5th player. And these must be the little trade in these to score for certain things. Those are those contracts that we talked about. Cool. I'm not going to punch those either. But anyway, folks, this is Explorers of Navoria. Keep your eyes open for a playthrough at Wizard of Mo Games, group playthrough, and then at the Wizard's table, possibly, quite possibly, highly likely, a solo playthrough of this game. I hope the camera worked. I hope everything sounds okay, and I hope everything looks okay. Again, let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe. It really helps out a lot. And we will catch you next time. This is the Wizard at the Wizard's table, and I'm out of here.